At the start of your business journey, you are everything. You are the marketing manager, you're the finance director, you are putting out the rubbish and you are making the coffee. And it can be a really lonely path. And then you start looking for all the solutions that you think you need, you didn't realize you needed. And then you find something that you definitely didn't need. And it can be really difficult, which is why I invite my go-to experts to come and talk to me and share their insights and wisdom. So, my name is Lindsay Burden, and I am an intuitive business coach, and I guide and inspire and motivate my clients to create wildly successful businesses and a time-rich lifestyle. But enough about me, because I am so pleased and happy to be introducing you today to, and I'm going to make sure I get this right. Erin, I obviously know how to say that bit. Erin Andrea Craske. I,
Craske.
I even put an accent on. Why do we do that? Why do we do that? Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be an incredible recording and interview, I know. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me,
I it's
Rakasing.
We met networking, and I think that's really interesting when you go to networking and sometimes all you've got to work on is a tiny little sort of square of somebody's face and the little pieces, but we really connected. But before we get started, I want to just introduce you properly. So you're an award-winning strategist with a 20-year career culminating as global head of consumer brands with expertise in strategic development, profitability, leadership, and communication. You are an ICF certified business and leadership success coach, leveraging 16 years of leadership. You empower businesses that do good to succeed on their terms and build a profitable business while amplifying, this is the bit I love, a ripple effect of goodness. How awesome.
Thank you. It's always so impressive when somebody reads what I wrote. Because when I write it, it doesn't even sound remotely as impactful. When somebody reads it aloud, I'm like, oh my God, is it about me? Did I write it? Like it just sounds so huge. It wasn't intended to be that way, but thank you very much. Yeah, it makes me feel a bit, okay, high expectation, have to deliver. No pressure.
No pressure. But isn't that interesting what you said there? How we feel about ourselves in business and how that impacts sometimes our ability to show up authentically.
Yes, I believe it does. Although the point I was just trying to make, I guess, was about that when I write it, it's it's actually quite the opposite. We don't think about ourselves as high as other people may perceive us.
True.
We diminish our own talents and
Yes.
recognition and experience, and what makes us feel more insecure than we should
Mm.
be.
So true.
This famous imposter syndrome,
Yes.
because people don't realize how actually they may sound and how they may come across. And when somebody reads it about me, and I'm saying, oh my God, is it about me? Am I so good? Because when I wrote it, yeah, I didn't give so much meaning or emotions to what I wrote. So
No.
that was something that caught my
Wow.
attention.
Now, I want to talk about your business name just for a moment because your business name is Effortless. And you and I have talked, a few times,
Yeah.
and we both, are very connected to that word. But tell us a little bit about why effortless.
Oh, that is actually such a good question because it was a very long story. So for me to come up with a name, and I wrote it about my book, your brand positioning comes first and your name comes second, not other way around.
Mm.
Okay, it's a different story. So I spent probably a year trying to combine everything that I wanted to put in my coaching practice so it's really authentic to me. It represents exactly who I am. So I combine different philosophies. I look back on my background, on my life experience, on where I want to be, what are my hobbies. I try to merge the unmergeable. And basically, through this process of thinking it through, I came up with this philosophy of effortlessness that is a combination of four different philosophies, right? I'm not pretending that I'm, I don't know, Sartre or whatever, the biggest one. I'm not a philosopher by all means, but combination of three of them made it so much me, and effortless became the final point of the whole thing. I was looking at how we're setting goals and how we're leading our lives and how we're thinking. And just through realization, I figured out that we make it much more challenging
Yeah.
than it's supposed to be. And the thing is, life isn't easy
No.
by itself, right? So, what is the point of making it tougher? We have to get through it because we're already here. And this is how effortlessness, was born as a concept. One thing about it that unfortunately may be misleading, because I heard this feedback from the person who didn't quite understand what the philosophy was about. And it's not a silver bullet. It's not this type of promise that, when you work with me, I don't know, a couple of times, then it's going to be effortless. No, it's not going to happen overnight because it requires certain precondition that we need to answer, because we need to shed everything that doesn't serve us, everything that we acquired. The good thing is that because we acquired it, we can get rid of it, right? All the things, they're not us. It's just a shell that sometimes rotten, not a good one. So we can actually get rid of it and re-become a butterfly.
Oh,
I
lovely.
like I like re-become. It doesn't exist, but it's a kind of, it's reborn. Yeah, it's like reborn, but re-become. Yeah. So that works for me. So that, and this is what effortlessness is about, is going back to who we really are, who we were born to be, and live from this place. Same applies to leadership. Going back through two main stages: first one, awareness, and second one, acceptance. Accepting who you are, shedding everything that doesn't serve you and doesn't serve your team and your company, and leading from this place of comfort. So that's what it is.
Well, I love what you were saying there, because I think we're kind of, when we do personal development work or when we're
Yeah.
looking at our businesses and to grow our businesses and in leadership, we kind of have this idea of perfection. But actually, it's not about perfection, is it? It's about the ebb and flow of business. And we cannot control everything, but we can choose how we react to things. And I wonder if that's where, for me anyway, the effortless piece comes in, because I choose to make things more difficult sometimes, and I know that I do.
It's definitely, and definitely, choice is the only thing that we have. The only thing we have control over,
Mm.
in all fairness, it's our choice. And I absolutely love this concept because I believe that realizing it makes you feel empowered. It makes you feel much stronger because you choose it. It's your choice. And it applies to any situation that we're in. And very often we don't feel good, or we overreact, or we feel fearful. But in reality, just step one step back, and I choose to overreact. I choose to feel fearful. What it does to us, it moves us from the stage, it just immediate one step from the stage of being a victim
Yeah.
of unfair circumstances, or somebody else being unfair to me, or something, or victim of our own thinking.
Yeah.
And that kind of puts you in the driving seat. It makes you closer one step to mastery. And when you realize it, that is just amazing how you turn it, how you started this question. Because when you realize it, that you always have a choice
Yeah.
in your action and in your reaction. Yes, you're not going to be a victim. And yes, you're not going to be entitled, but you're going to feel so much more stronger and powerful.
That's so beautifully put. And I think I really resonate with that. It puts you in control, it puts you in the driving seat and brings it back to you, which leads me nicely, actually. One of the things, so when I invite my guests, I get them to think about 3 points that they'd like to get across. So I want to touch on this. The first one you had was leading from your core, pure self. And I wanted to explore that so we can explain what that means to people.
Yeah, this is exactly what I have already mentioned earlier. So what happens, and this is something I know for sure, that when we were all born pure, powerful, and confident. This power and this confidence, we are usually losing throughout our entire lifetime. So we become leaders, we are not leading from the place of who we were meant to be. Again, this confidence and purity and power. We're leading from a place of insecurities and
Mm.
fears and how I'm going to be perceived, what people are going to think about me. Sorry. So, from this place, whatever we're trying to do is not going to bring us the effect that we're after. Leading from the place of comfort, being in peace with yourself, gonna do a miracle because, first of all, you're gonna be much more calmer.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can't even find the words, this fantastic feeling of being in harmony.
Yes, that.
But you also gonna feel much more human because it wasn't be about who you think you should be, how you think you should look, what you think you should say. It's gonna be, this is how I feel is the right thing for me and for the business. In response, your team, your business is going to reciprocate because they will see you as human. They will feel safety around you and they will reciprocate. So, all these things about stress and disengagement and quiet quitting and burnout, it's really easy to sort out when you move your relationship with your team on a more human level, you know?
And people can really see that. I know whenever, and I've mentioned this before in interviews, but whenever I've done any work on myself for the sake of the business, the first person to notice will always be my husband. Oh, you're so much calmer. You're so
Yeah,
because I've done some of that
yeah,
work. And for me, that's what's so incredible about when we take it back to ourselves, where for whatever reason you do it, it has this lovely ripple effect. And
exactly.
the other
Yes.
thing I wanted to just pick up on is that when we are in a good place, and I can use my family. So when I'm in a good place and my husband notices, so we're having different conversations, the children pick up on it, the house feels full of light and joy. It really is that ripple effect, isn't it?
Absolutely, because when you do it, it means actually just compare for a change. If you're still in the place of discomfort, personal discomfort, well, the best case scenario, what we're going to do, we're going to go through multiple trainings of how to be a better leader. The problem with these trainings, they're treating symptoms.
Mhm.
Again, underneath all these trainings, you're still not going to be comfortable or secure in what you do. It's still going to be difficult to maintain relationship or make decisions or increase productivity of your team or create a better ambience because it's all everybody's looking at you. You are leading this business, right? So all these trainings, as fantastic as they may be, first of all, it's a bit of a cover up. And secondly, when you're in a stressful situation, you there's a big chance you're going to forget about trainings because you will become to your natural self. And it's really challenging to remember because every training going to have different skills. It's like, I'm stressed, do I really need to about how I talk, how I look, where I go? So it's a bit too complicated. In the worst case scenario, we are going to cover it up with control, censorship, right? So, and that is just what it's not going to help.
No.
But when you take the approach that I'm talking about, and Lindsay, thank you so much for supporting me on this one. Let alone is going to have impact on you, it's going to have positive impact on your team, definitely on your family life and relationship, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Then it's also going to positively impact your mental health, cognitive health, your emotional health, right? So, and instead of doing all the symptoms of treating them, you
Yeah.
go through one transformation that everybody is going to benefit from.
Um,
That
yeah.
is how powerful it is.
Yeah. No, I'm very much with you, and I haven't I have experienced it. Couldn't get my words out. I have experienced it, and many times actually. If I think back when I won't bore you with the story, but my parents used to have a pub, and there was somebody that used to come in who wasn't particularly nice to us, and we just decided, I will tell you because I've started now. We decided that we couldn't put up with him coming in and being miserable every Tuesday night. We couldn't put up with him being rude with us every night. So my friend who was from New Zealand, she said, "We're just going to be super nice." I'm going to find that hard. She went, no, from the minute he walks out the door, and we were, hi, how are you? What kind of day? And it was quite forced in many respects. But he only had one way to go with that, to be nice back. And of course, over the Tuesdays, the many Tuesdays, because he came in every Tuesday, we started to build a different relationship. So it's really powerful. And I think that is quite a good example of where we just went, we don't want to feel like this anymore.
Yeah,
We want to take back our power. And so therefore we are going to just be
exactly. Yeah.
ourselves. Yeah, no, I'm really, really with you around this piece about ourselves and coming back to ourselves all the time. I've just got a quick question. Well, I don't know if it'll be a quick answer, and I'm not sure if there is one.
I doubt it. I don't believe I'm capable of, giving quick answers.
But I do feel a little bit like there is just so many different ways, and thinking about an individual, not necessarily a leader, but there are so many different ways for us to be better, to try and be better, to do this, do that. And then you see it in business as well, do this marketing strategy, follow these 10 steps, and it just feels that we're so bombarded, and it's really easy to go, right, I'll do this, oh no, now I need to do this, and continuously look for ways to improve, when sometimes we just need to come back to self. But we're in this world where we're just bombarded with information, products, services, do this, do that.
Yes, because the whole world and the whole society, I believe, is driven by addressing symptoms. There are reasons behind it. Don't take me wrong. Not every business can just go, stop, and, reshape the whole operation. So sometimes it's possible, sometimes it's not, but it's not actually required. What is required is to stop for a second and ask yourself or your business or whoever you want to ask why you're doing all that. What is the reason behind, this is what I call one of the symptoms, because I have three symptoms that make our life unbearable. Only three, very powerful. So the first one is running like a headless chicken. A second one, being trapped in a hamster wheel. And the third one, being stuck in a rat race.
Oh, I'm so laughing because I've been in all of those.
So the first one that you described, it is running like a headless chicken.
Mm,
It is about trying to fix this, trying to do that, trying to, you know what? Because are we afraid to stop and just give it a thought?
mm,
What really drives us? Because we believe that fixing something requires, on top, superficially, requires less effort, and it requires less resources, and it's immediate because we need to have an immediate fix. And this is how it happens in life and business. So the problem with this approach in everything is short-term gains, long-term losses.
yeah.
This is what it is. It's presumptuous to believe that if you fix something, if you put a band-aid over an ulcer, it's going to work.
Mm.
As again, if you try to fix something on top as a symptom, that the issue is not going to reappear. It will, and it will reappear in a different place.
Yeah.
And with time, it's going to get worse.
Worse. Yeah.
And this is what we're doing throughout life. We're just running and fixing in this direction, and this direction. We can't stop. But by the time we realize what we've done, we're pretty much in the same place, and probably our health got damaged or our business got damaged. So isn't it just easier to dedicate some time to think and then do something?
I like that. Yes, we are in a world of lots of information. Now, the second point, I want to come to this one.
Oh my God.
Your
We're
second
not
point.
done yet. Oh dear.
Well, I need to be very, very mindful, Erin, because I think you and I could talk all day.
We
So
will after.
let's get to point two. So you wrote down here, letting profitability flow, which is a phrase after my own heart. But what did you mean by that? And what did you want people to understand from that point today?
It's again, it's about making things effortful or making things effortless. So when I think about profitability, and again, profitability for me has slightly different meaning than profit. Profit can be short term, although still it's not return on investment. It's different. It's a little bit better. Profitability for me actually symbolizes the longevity of your company. That's the big difference. It's not about immediate earning, it's about building a profitable business longer term. So that's the difference, at least in my world. With regards to profitability flow, when we talk about profit, the first thing comes to mind, actually two. The first one is goals. Three, goals. The second one, sales. And the third one, striving. So that is how I perceive most businesses see their operations. So first of all, you need to set a goal. Whether you achieve it or don't, it's actually irrelevant because it's going to be equally bad. If you achieve it, you may celebrate for a while, or even you can even get drunk. And then next day you're gonna set up a new one and you're gonna be striving again. That is the rat race. That's another
Yeah.
symptom. If you don't achieve it, you're really not going to feel good. Probably gonna get drunk again too. So, it's a kind of so I'm saying there's no big difference. The word of striving and achieving goals, it just has such a heavy energy. Striving, oh, all of us go, and I just don't believe it's healthy. It's not healthy for our body. It's definitely not healthy for our mental health. And sales, it's another thing that I also find fascinating because when people so focus on sales, it seems like they deny the whole nature of a business, which is holistic. We don't realize that when we chasing profits, they're not coming from us selling products. They're coming from customers buying our products. And our customers, they don't buy products per se. They buy experience and they buy relationship.
Yeah.
So when we focus all our business purely on sales, we forget that behind what we sell, there's the whole company. You have customer service, you have logistics, you have operations, you have production, you have many, and they all create this experience.
Yeah.
So it's short-term gains, long-term losses, because we focus on sell right now, get money back right now.
Mm.
And through that, we alienate company behind
Yeah.
because they feel like support function rather than just creation of this experience. And we're also risking to alienate customers. So that's what I'm talking about. And yeah, going back to profitability flow. So profitability flow is an approach where we focus on all business streams that lead to profitability. There are not that many. Actually, it's quite easy. So it's not, I don't do anything effortful. I really, really don't like anything that, makes me like, I need to put an effort here. Like, no, I'm not going to do it. So it is easy because there are only six. And the point is that it is a change of mindset. It's not about having the goal that you are desperate to achieve. It's about letting your team and your business improve on a daily basis, little by little, every stream together. So, what you're going to get as a result, you're going to have your business being holistically improved. That would lead to inevitable profit because it's not possible other way. And it reminds me of one sentence that I actually changed, unfortunately. It's a Steve Jobs saying that I changed to, kind of please me and be more suitable to what
I
I'm
think that's allowed, I
Yeah.
insist.
Well, at least I mentioned it's not mine. But the point is that he's saying that if you focus on the profit, you will skimp on the business.
Mm.
But if you business focus on business, profit will follow. So that is exactly the approach.
I really love that. And I think it's really easy. And I've certainly spoken to business owners in the past where I've really had to go, you're making it about the money. And when we do that, we drop into a place of lack and we really don't do our best work. We really don't put our clients or customers first. So yeah, absolutely. I resonate with you on that. And I love letting profitability flow. That really made me go, oh yeah, I like
Yeah,
this.
you're
Just
creating a path. You're opening a door through your daily improvements of holistic approach and mindful approach to business. You open the door so it can flow back at you.
I love
That's not the picture.
I love that. And that just sounds effortless as opposed to really hard work. Because I'm really with you. I'm all up for making life as simple as possible,
Yeah,
and particularly in my business. And every now and then I go, hang on a minute, it's all getting a bit clunky and a bit hard work. How can I make it easier? Because that's about a state of mind, isn't it? That's that mindset.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I love that. Now, I'm very conscious that, and I have said already, you and I really could talk forever. So I want to neatly bring us back round. And at the beginning, we were talking about how business can, it feels like business at times can, it's like push, push. And you talked about goals. Got to get that goal. Got to get that goal. Oh, I got that goal. Oh, I've got to get another goal. And this constant feeding of our own need in many respects to make life as difficult, make business as challenging as
Yeah.
possible. Because, we have to work really, really hard for our success. And there's a whole load of limiting beliefs and stuff linked to
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Um, but you're really about making life and business easy. And you come at it very much from the place that we make it harder. So let's explore that, because the last thing you wrote here, and I want to come back to this, and it's a great way to finish. Life is as effortful as we make it to be. And I think that's a great place to close, but I want to give you that opportunity to just explore that a little bit for us.
Yeah. And I will add to it. Um, the, there's opportunity to change it. The choice is ours. To make it a bit more empowering. Well, yeah. What it's very difficult. I guess it's challenging to explain the concept if you don't live it. But in reality, just again, look back at yourself and see where do your struggles come from. And very often you will realize that they will come from the fact that you try to adjust, you try to live up, you try to follow, you are afraid of whatever you're afraid of.
Yeah.
You worry because you worry. There's no any other explanation. You're feeling miserable. Okay, I'm not talking about a very specific situation that easy to understand, but situations like something happened to you, I don't know, 20 years ago, and now you perceive it like a curse over your life.
Mm.
All the things, they put us in misery. This is what I call effortful, right? We really, either we try hard because we set a goal that we don't even know whether it's ours,
Yeah.
right? And very often we just react on our environment, on what we think it should be like, how we should be perceived, how we should behave, how there's so many things. And all that creates all these fears and worries. It just, it's really, it's a vicious circle.
Mm.
So that's what makes it effortful. That's one thing. And I actually see two steps, major steps. Okay, there are more steps because you can just go through philosophy. Altogether, there are two conditions that will help us to break the cycle. The first one is freedom to be yourself. This is
Mm.
authenticity. When you accept yourself for who you are, and important thing, you are not a bad person. There's so many people afraid of self-reflection because they're afraid they're going to discover something. Oh my God, I don't want to know. Remember what I said? I'm not a guru, but it's a kind of makes sense that what you don't like, it's something that you acquired. It's not you. You acquired it over the lifetime, so you can disacquire it, you know. And so don't be afraid. If there's something about yourself that you don't like, it's not you. That is easy. Come to what you like, and that's going to be you. So,
Yeah.
and when you come from this place of acceptance, you actually kind of stop really caring about what other people think about you, what society wants from you, what something else expects from you. You shed all these rules because every rule comes and every identity comes with preconceived ideas about how it's supposed to be. And just count how many roles you acquired over the lifetime: mother, daughter, business person, manager, I don't know, dog walker. There's so many, and everyone gonna come with a list of what you think it should be, right? When you accept yourself for who you are, first of all, everything will go because it becomes irrelevant. And secondly, yes, with everything that will go, you may lose a few people here and there, but you will acquire different people along the way. That is a massive reward because these people are going to be much better. And the second state is emptiness of mind. So this is, you kind of build a foundation of effortless living, but you have to maintain it, not to go back. And the easiest way to maintain it is to keep your mind empty. Okay, it's going to require a bit of training, right? Again, nothing is silver bullets, nothing happens overnight, well, unless I probably win a lottery that I've never done. But yeah, so that is another thing because the way it works in our lives, it starts with beliefs. Through these beliefs, a thought is born. This thought becomes thinking. Thinking, right, becomes emotions, emotions go actions, actions reconform beliefs because we choose only those that will reconform what we already believe in. So, and then it's a kind of, it's either spiral, circle, whatever you want to call it, but it's not healthy. Um, when we are able to code this thought in our head before it turned into thinking, this is the powerful moment where we can free ourselves further on a daily basis, keeping it effortless. So I don't know if I managed to explain it. I did my absolutely best,
You did good. And I think for me, it's about remembering that you can change a thought. So if the thought is not serving you, you can change it. But I do think this is part of a bigger process, and we're not suggesting that anyone can just start changing. Well, actually, I think people can just start changing their thoughts if they choose to.
you can change it. You can let it go. It's another option, just letting thoughts go again before they became thinking. And the third option is to realize that a thought is just a thought. It means nothing. It doesn't mean that is correct. It doesn't mean that you should act on it. It doesn't mean that it means anything. It's just a thought. You can't, it's not even tangible. You can't even touch it. And then, even though you still allow it to rule your life, this is how silly it became. So take control over your life again. Choose to control your self thought instead of being a victim, back to the beginning of our conversation, of your thinking.
That is a perfect place to end. Erin, it has been incredible. Now if somebody wants to get hold of you, you have very kindly shared a link with me. And
Yeah,
so I will put that
yeah.
under this video so everyone can connect with you, because you have some fabulous resources, and you've also popped a discount code in there for people. So I will make sure that we share all of that. And it's just one link, everyone. That's how effortless it will be to connect with Erin.
Exactly.
One link.
And I'm
And
not even going to spell it, you know.
oh, Erin, thank you so much for joining me today. It has been an absolute
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Thank you, Lindsay.
it's
Thank you.
just
It was,
full
yeah.
of tiny little gems and nuggets, which is exactly what I want from these interviews and these conversations. So people can just have something that just goes, okay, so I need to think about that or explore that a bit more and look at that.
I hope. I
That
hope.
that you have done. You've given us plenty to think about, including myself. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.